Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your salary is worth less than a cup of coffee. Not because you lost your job, not because prices slowly crept up, but because your money quietly stopped meaning anything. That isn't a metaphor. That is the Iranian Rial. Right now, Iran still has a national currency on paper, but in daily life, many people already think in dollars, gold, or even basic goods, because money, at its core, is just trust printed on paper. And once that trust starts to crack, everything else follows. This didn't happen overnight. The roots go back decades, but the collapse accelerates after 2012, and then again after 2018. Sanctions cut Iran off from the global banking system. Oil exports, the country's main source of dollars, collapsed. Hard currency stopped flowing in, but government spending didn't stop flowing out. So the state did what governments under pressure almost always do. It printed money. At first, it feels harmless. Salaries get paid, subsidies continue, daily life goes on, no immediate explosion. But printing money without real income is like photocopying tickets to a concert that's already sold out. More tickets, same number of seats. Prices rise, the rial buys less, people notice. And this is where things turn dangerous. Once people expect inflation, they stop trusting tomorrow. They rush to spend today. They convert rials into dollars, gold, land, appliances, anything that won't melt in their hands. Demand for dollars spikes. The rial falls even faster. Panic feeds on itself. This loop is ruthless. In 2010, one US dollar was worth around 10,000 rials. Today, on the open market, it's hundreds of thousands. Official exchange rates still exist, but almost nobody uses them. The gap between official numbers and reality isn't policy, it's theater. Now comes the uncomfortable math. Iran still sells oil, but often at heavy discounts, through intermediaries, sometimes paid late, sometimes not paid in cash at all. But imports, food, medicine, machinery are priced in hard currency. So the state tries to buy dollars it barely earns using a currency nobody trusts. That's how a currency really dies. Not with a single crash, but slowly, publicly, in denial. There's an irony in this. On paper, new note banks are introduced, zeros are added, then removed, then added again. In real life, shopkeepers ignore the official name of the currency entirely. Prices are counted in tomans, zeros are dropped mentally, and numbers change daily. It's economic improvisation. Here's what most people miss. A currency doesn't collapse just because prices rise. It collapses when it stops being useful, when wages can't keep up, when savings evaporate, when pricing something a month ahead becomes impossible. At that point, the rial isn't money anymore. It's a temporary coupon. Zoom out, and the consequences get bigger. A worthless currency pushes wealth underground. Smuggling grows. Tax collection collapses. The state becomes weaker even as it prints more money just to survive. That's the trap. So what happens next? There are only a few paths: serious reform and restored trust, an unofficial dollarized economy where the rial exists only on paper, or continued decay where confidence keeps falling and the currency slowly fades into irrelevance. Iran hasn't clearly chosen, or maybe it already has, by not choosing at all. Because the real question isn't whether the rial can hit zero against the dollar. For many people, in real life, it already has. The real question is what replaces it when trust finally runs out.